welcome back to my channel. I'm the Young Homesteader, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 different methods of tie-dyeing t-shirts. The supplies you will need for this project are a wooden cutting board, wax paper, newspaper, and a plastic covered oven rack. You will also need a pan of cold water, a t-shirt or whatever you're wanting to dye, and of course you'll need the dye itself. Method 1, the heart. So I've already got my newspaper set down and put wax paper on top of it for an extra layer of protection. Now I'm ready to add my meat board to give my structure height. Then I'll lay my cling wrap covered oven tray on top of the meat board. So my dye does not just pull up on here, I'm going to use this to poke some holes in my plastic. Now I'm going to take my t-shirt and put it in a pan of cold water to soak. Yesterday I went ahead and washed my shirt normally and let it dry. So here's my tie-dye kit, and I got it at Walmart for about $10. I like this particular one because it contains 10 different colors. It also comes with 6 pairs of gloves and 30 rubber bands. Now we need to decide what colors we're going to be using and make our dye, filling the bottles up to the neck with water. For this particular shirt, I'm going to be using purple, pink, and yellow. When you're ready to start doing your colors, go ahead and pull your shirt out of the water and wring it out. Now we're going to take it and let it spin till damp. When your shirt is damp, you're ready to begin. Fold it in half lengthwise. Then lay it down with the sleeves facing away from you. And draw a heart along the front using either an erasable marker, a light colored chalk pencil, or a friction pin, which will either erase using friction or heat. I found it easier to draw a paper version of my heart and then lay it down on my shirt exactly where I wanted it. And here's my heart. Now it's time to begin pleating or pinching along the drawn line. So just go pinch, pinch and pull it slightly, pinch, pinch, pinch. As you might be able to tell that the line is becoming a little bit straighter. Now that all your fabric has been gathered and the line is relatively straight, go ahead and slip your rubber band into place. And make sure you double it. I wanted to decorate the sleeves differently, therefore I tied them off using rubber bands. I then decided to add different colors below the heart on the bottom of the shirt and tied it off as well. Time to glove up! Now you're ready to begin dyeing your shirt. It's best to start with the heart area, and I'm doing mine pink. I went ahead and turned it over to finish the bottom side, which would be the back of the shirt. From there, continue dyeing the different areas as desired. As I worked, I thought the color blue would look nice. Moving on to the sleeves, I decided to add in my favorite color, purple! Now that I have this colored the way I want it, I'm going to leave it set overnight. Method 2, the kaleidoscope. Moving on to shirt number 2. This time I'm going to be doing my version of a kaleidoscope. Just like last time, we wash our shirt, soak it in water, and then throw it in the dryer until it's just a little damp. When it's ready, pull it out of the dryer and bring it to our dyeing station. Step 1 is to fold the shirt in half lengthwise. I have already done this. Next, find your middle point, roughly around there, and fold the collar over towards the sleeves. Press your seam down, making sure it's nice and crisp, and you'll want to make sure to do this on every step. Next, bring the hem up towards the collar, making it look, or at least like to me, a kite. Again, press down and flip it over. Next, bring your edges in towards the middle. Again, pressing down. And this will cause your shirt to look more like a paper plane. Wait, think there's a theme going on here? Flip it back over with the point facing you. Then once again, bring the edges in towards the middle. Now take your shirt and fold it in half this way. Now you're ready to secure it in place with your rubber bands. I wanted to add a bit of color underneath it while I band it so it's easier to see. Okay, so I'm going to be using 5 different colors. So I need 5 spaces. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a little thin yellow line right between space 4 and space 5. Well, I had a plan, I executed the plan, and the plan went off the rails, so I threw away the plan. So the new plan is to put my yellow strip down here and fill in all the others with my original colors. So we're gonna start with yellow. Now we're gonna do pink. I was planning on leaving a white band between the colors and the rubber band, but I decided the one I had was a little too big, so I simply added more dye. Now green. Blue. And my favorite color, purple. Remember to always flip over your project and get the underside. That way you decorate both the front and the back of your shirt. Since this one is quite a bit flatter than my last one, I'm going to wrap it in plastic wrap to protect it while it dries. I'm going to set this outside with the other one while we still have a few hours of daylight left, and then I'll bring it in for the night. Method 3. Spraying! For this method, we're going to be using spray bottles. This is actually something I learned to do while participating in 4-H. Because I'm making the shirt for someone I know, I decided to put their name down along the side. So I found these rather large letters and used them to trace the shape out onto wax paper. Then I double-sided taped the letters down onto the shirt so that they would stay in position while I'm spraying and would appear white. So before we start spraying, I'd like to share how I readied this shirt. One thing I did was place cardboard in between the front and back of the shirt. That way the paint on the front won't bleed through to the back, because I want to make them look a little different. The other thing I did was put bags inside the arms and anywhere the cardboard didn't cover for the exact same reason. Now let's start spraying. I'm going to start with blue. Sometimes, if your spray is not wide, you may have to change angles. Continue doing this with any colors you would like to use. For example, green or purple. Time for yellow. Whoop. So I stepped back and looked at my shirt a little bit, and I think it needs a little bit of blue in this corner, and that's his favorite color. Looks good. I usually allow the front of my shirt to dry for 30 minutes to an hour before flipping it. Now we're ready to do the back. I've already flipped my shirt, so here we go. the next day. After having left my shirts out overnight to dry, I came back the next morning and untied this shirt and hung it back outside in the breeze to dry again. Now that it is mostly dry, I'm going to help it along since it has to be completely dry before I rinse it out. After washing the shirt out in the sink under cold water, we then place it into the washer and turn it onto the hot water setting. Turn the dial to your normal spin cycle and add just a few drops of soap, remembering that it's only one shirt. So here's my shirt, and in the making of it, I learned a couple of interesting things. One is that I might have used a little too much dye, and the other is that I should have exaggerated these lines a bit more, but I like it. I feel it's a pretty good turnout for a first try, and the person I'm making it for will love it. Now we're ready to unveil this one. I'm sure it has a little too much dye on this as well, but hey, I wanted my colors to be bright and prominent. I unwrapped two just to show you how easy it can be, and now I'm going to snip the other two. But when you use scissors, be very careful not to cut your fabric. Wow, that looks really cool. This is mine, and I love it. I left a little bit of white in between the colors to add a bit more texture, and it made it all the way through the design perfectly. So this shirt's still a bit wet, and we have a nice breeze out today, so I'm going to be hanging this outside with my other two shirts to dry. Just like with the first shirt, I rinsed it under cold water in the sink, threw it in the wash machine with hot water on a normal cycle. When it was done, I put it in the dryer. And presto! Your shirt is done. This shirt didn't get wrapped up like the others did, but it did get hung outside to dry along with the other two. And just like with them, once the shirt has been dried and the dye is set, it's time to rinse the extra dye out using cold water in the sink. Keep rinsing until the water runs clear. When that happens, put the shirt in the wash on the same setting as the previous shirts. And here's what it looks like when it's finished. Today we saw 3 different methods of how to tie-dye t-shirts. There was the heart method, the kaleidoscope method, and the spray method. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that you will like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications.